Full shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, just some social shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this be myself, so hear me. Woo! I mean, like, we can pull that clown shit away. This some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thoughts and harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse of only few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
What's going on, people, man? We're back in the building. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's blessed, man. Please make sure, as always, man, you're smashing the like, you're sharing and subscribing to the damn channel, man. What we here for today, hopefully this will be a very quick video, but you know me, I always ramble and waffle on. You can see the caption, you can see the thumbnail. I'm looking at a few players this season who I feel that it's just changed. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's in the water. I don't know if it's conversations with God. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is, man. But this season, there's been a few players who I've looked at and I've just thought, bloody hell, man. Like, not even necessarily with some of them, like in a sense of like, right, where did this come from? But just more like, wow, like you've actually, you know, changed it around, you know, in terms of how we've kind of looked at you, you know, last season. So, you know, the players I'm going to talk about today, there's 5 players that, you know, I wanted to, you know, talk about in terms of having a bit of a renaissance, you know, it's just completely changed, you know, to what it was last season in terms of how we looked at them as a player. These players are not bad players, of course they're not. You know, some of these players, you know, are young. Some of these players are a bit older, you know, have experience and have been in the game for quite some time. But, you know, last season, it just was not really working out for some of these players. So, yeah, man, it's just kind of really taking a look at that. You know, so I've got 5 players here who I wanted to take a look at. And please, in the comment section, of course, once this video is done and you've seen my 5 players, let me know your 5 players. Let me know 5 players that you've kind of looked at this season and said, right, like, you know what, last season, you know, I counted them out, and this season, it's just completely changed, man. You know, they've changed your mind. They've changed the way that you've kind of, you know, looked at this player and stuff like that. So let's start off. First one, I think this one's an easy one. It has to be Rafinha, you know, over there at Barcelona. This season, he's been brilliant. He has been absolutely brilliant. I think for me, especially watching Barcelona as much as I do, I'm probably tempted to say he's probably been their best player. I probably would have to say that. You know, it's just been an absolute lease of life. Now, obviously, this is his stats and, you know, him last season, you know, under Xavi. Now, we know, of course, obviously, Xavi ended up, you know, leaving the club, you know, in the end. And then, of course, Hansi Flick comes in. But it's just been different. Like last season, obviously plotting out there on that right wing, you know, it just, you know, Barcelona falling away in La Liga, Champions League, of course, getting knocked out as well. It just was not working out for Barcelona, you know. And if I'm being honest, from the way, you know, I'm listening to some Barcelona fans, yo, they were quick to, like, they were happy if they said, yeah, we'll sell this guy. Yeah, if we can get X, Y, Z amount. And, you know, of course, obviously at the time, without knowing, obviously, Hansi Flick is coming in, and all that kind of stuff. You got Lamine Yamal, obviously playing on that right-hand side as well. You might as well. Do you know what I mean? You literally might as well just say, yeah, you know what? Let's just kind of, you know, get rid of him now. You know, let's just cut our losses, whatever it is. Go to Saudi, go to America, go back to the Premier League, obviously leaving, coming there from Leeds United and stuff like that. And it's crazy because all of these guys, most of them anyway, in fact, no, probably all of the ones that we're going to talk about today, forget the stats. Obviously, I'm showing you guys the stats, of course, but forget the stats. It is, you had to have actually watched these guys play last season. And for me, I just felt like, yes, Rafinha scored 10 goals, 13 assists, really, really good return, you know, for most people. You know, most people would say, wow, you got double, you know. And, you know, we're looking for players, you know, of that kind of ilk, you know, in all of our teams. But if you watch the performances, they were not good. They were not good, man. Like he had some good games, yep, you know, calm. But then for me, majority of the games I'm watching him play, I'm like, nah, Rafinha, it's just not working with you in this team, bro. It's just not working with you in this team, and I can't even lie to you. This season, though, yo, again, the stats look nice. 10 goals, 9 assists in 14 games. It's the way that he's playing under Hansi Flick, though. I don't know what, like I said, I don't know what they put in the water over there at Barcelona. But when I'm watching them, he is so integral to that attack. He drops deep, picks up the ball. He's got like this sense of, obviously, I've seen him captain the team a few times. He's got this sense of leadership about him this season. I don't know if it's because, you know, he's seen as one of the elder statesmen in the team just because of his age and stuff like that. But, and obviously Barcelona have got a lot of young players, you know, in their team. But he's just, it just seems like he's just got this new lease of life. It's like a free roll, you know. He's popping up on the left, he's playing through the middle, you know, popping up on the right. Him and Lamine Yamal will interchange. Sometimes he's the furthest forward. Sometimes I'm seeing Lewandowski drop deep, and then he's up front. Bro, like this lease of life that Rafinha has got this season has been absolutely crazy. And like I said, in the summer, if you had said to Barcelona fans, I'm not going to say all of them, but from most that I was seeing, and myself personally, if you'd have told me, yeah, probably like, so Rafinha, 100%, get someone else, mate. Do you know what I mean? There's bare players out there we can, you know what I mean, we can go and get. And the fact that he's been able to really turn it around for me this season, and to be honest, obviously we're just talking about on form, right? But on form, he's been one of the best performers in Europe right now, easily, like easily top 5. I'd like whoever you want to throw in there, but top 5 easily, you know, performers in Europe this season. You know, he's been absolutely immense. You know, we saw him in, you know, in the Classico, how well he was in that game. Saw him against Bayern Munich. Obviously, if you guys watched that, you saw how well he was in that game as well. But in various other games, he's just been really, really good. I saw him against Valencia early part of the season for Barcelona. You know, things were just, you know, kind of just starting off, and we're trying to see, you know, how Barcelona were going to play and etc. etc. He again was so, it's his role. I think it's more his role than anything, because it's not necessarily about, yeah, you're just chilling on one wing. He doesn't chill on one wing. You can see his heat map there. He ain't chilling at all. This guy is everywhere, absolutely everywhere, man. So big up to Rafinha, man. Really done really, really well so far, of course, this season. Next up, obviously, had to put him in there. You know, I couldn't ignore him. I could not ignore him, and that's obviously Gravenberch. Obviously, this is him for last season, you know, playing under Jurgen Klopp, just moved to Liverpool as well, you know, coming off a failed move, you know, to Bayern Munich, you know, by all accounts, in terms of not really playing. Listen, whatever the context is, doesn't really matter. It was a failed move to Bayern Munich for whatever reason. Last season, I'll be honest, you know, I was not impressed at all by Gravenberch. You know, he's a player, obviously, he's been around for a little while. You know, he's been spoken about in certain circles. You know, he was a part of that, like the kind of Jude Bellingham group, you know, of players, you know, in that kind of age bracket. You know, not even necessarily in that age bracket, even though he is, but more so that group of players, you know, the Pedris, the Bellinghams, the Gravenberches, like Pedris and Bellingham, they got bigger names, of course, but he was in there. He could hang with the ballers. You know, that's what we thought at the time. You know, but last season, honestly, I was very disappointed with the signing overall. And again, if you'd have told me last season, or sorry, if you told me, you know, during the summer we were going to sell Gravenberch, you know, I heard rumors about him potentially going on loan, I would have said, yeah, calm, no worries. Go out and sign someone else. Go and sign someone else. This season, though, and I want you guys to pay close attention as well. Look at the minutes he's played. So he got 1,170 minutes so far he's played this season. Last season, he played 1,848 minutes. He's easily going to top that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Heck, you could even throw in the Bundesliga, you know, 9 minutes he played in that competition. Heck, he even picked up a yellow card. That's jokes. This season, though, again, I don't know what is in the water. What is in the water, bro? Because he, like, big up Jerry, because I know, you know, we were speaking about this. It's like, how can two managers, two very good managers, by the way, in Thomas Tuchel and in Jurgen Klopp, look at this guy, and if you look at, obviously, his heat map from last season, he was kind of playing that kind of left central midfield, sometimes even left mid, you know, kind of position, you know, for Liverpool, coming on, playing Europa League games and etc. etc. Coming on, playing in the Premier League, left central midfield, you know, that kind of role, a bit further forward more than anything. This season, though, under Slot, tried to sign Zubimendi, didn't work. Cool, no worries. That was the kind of profile of player, you know, that excuse me, Arne Slot obviously wanted to sign. He said, "No, you know what, cool. You know what, I'm gonna have to work with what I've got. Fairs, no worries. You know, it is what it is, right?" Man said, "I got Gravenberch though. Gravenberch this season, like it's not even close. Whoever you think the next best midfielder at Liverpool has been this season, they're not even remotely close to the levels that Gravenberch has obviously been putting in this season. And I think one of the biggest things I like more so now, of course, you know me, I'm not trying to go overboard, but one of the things I like is that it's a level of consistency. We've seen it really from game one till now. Yes, do I think he's played excellent in every game? No, I do not. I think he's had some kind of average games, thrown in there. But majority of the games that he has played, in my personal opinion, he has been good. He has been really, really good. And it's not. And listen, he ain't scored no goals, he ain't got no assists, but obviously his role is a little bit different in terms of where he is obviously on the pitch, what he's been tasked to do, in games and stuff like that. So I'm not expecting all of that. That'll be nice, of course, if you can get some, because Liverpool's midfield is really, really lacking when it comes to goals and assists. But in a general sense, he himself, the role that he's been playing this season, listen, man, he's, like I said, the contrast to last season where I was looking at man and I was saying, bro, you can bounce. You can definitely bounce. You get what I'm trying to say? Obviously, I get it. Yeah, you know what? He just moved to the club and didn't get to play start that many games. But I'll be honest, obviously, different manager, of course. But it's the same thing at Bayern Munich. So you almost start to think, is there a bit of a trend going on here? Do you know what I mean? Like, because we see it with, someone like Matthias de Ligt, playing for Manchester United now. You've gone from Ajax to, the Juves to Bayern. Now you're at Manchester United. It's like, is there a bit of, something going on here, with these Ajax players? But listen, man, this season, honestly, man, Gravenberch, so far, anyways, he has been really, really good. Whether he's able to continue that, whether he's got the tools to be able to do that, remains to be seen. Obviously, of course, my jury's always going to still be out, because ultimately, in my opinion, he stank last season. He stank last season. So if he's able to continue this for the duration of this season, then he gets put, in my opinion, anyway, in the way I look at him, he gets put on a different pedestal now. Okay, this is your level now. All right, cool. Let's see if you can maintain that. Then we can start having he's world class, and then we can start having those kind of conversations. At the moment, no, unfortunately, you don't make world class of 10 games or 13 games, should I say? Sorry, unfortunately. But of course, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Would I like for him to be world class? Yes, because he's always been a player I've just kind of like, yeah, he's all right. I mean, yeah, I like Gravenberch. Of course, like I said, he's in that group. He's in that kind of Pedri, Bellingham kind of group. Is he at the top of that? No, I don't think so. He's still got a good couple of years before he can even really, get to that kind of level, in my personal opinion. But listen, so far this season, he's helped Liverpool, to get top spot. He's been fantastic, man. He's been fantastic, man. So big up to him. Next up, this one was an interesting one. Man. I've been following him a little bit, man. And that's David De Gea. Obviously, Manchester United fans, of course, they'll remember him, of course. Spain fans as well, Spanish fans, like myself, will remember him. Obviously, look, now, David De Gea left Manchester United in the 22-23 season. Yes. So at the end of that season, contract ran out. That was it. Poor season by, I guess his own standards and stuff like that. You can see saves per game he was having to make. That's not, of course, all his fault, but he was making 2.7 saves per game. Goals prevented was what I was really looking at, which is minus 1.55. That was really, really bad. And he was conceding a goal more or less per game. Took a year out. I don't know if that was just contract stuff. Obviously, it didn't look like anyone was trying to sign him. Obviously, then, finally this season, he moves to, Fiorentina. And, bro, I don't know, again, don't know what's going on. Of course, listen, it's not all him. With goalkeepers, it's kind of difficult, right? You can only do it, obviously, as best as you possibly can. And I guess we start looking at, like, saves and goals prevented. I think goals prevented is where I look at for goalkeepers more closely than, than anything else. He saved 2 out of 2 penalties so far this season. He's prevented 2.34. Let's just go back for 1 second. His goals prevented was minus 1.55. Now, again, I know that's not all him, because Manchester United are absolutely dog doo-doo. Like, they are worse than dog doo-doo. And they were even crapper back then. But to go from that to this, and Fiorentina, I think, currently are now sitting third in Serie A, having a blinder of a season so far. He has been pivotal to that. Some of the saves, you guys need to even go and watch some of the highlights. Some of the saves that this guy is making, I'm just like, this renaissance right here. Like, this might be one of the biggest comebacks of the season. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like if Fiorentina, let's say the Fiorentina finish in the Champions League spot, oh, David De Gea definitely going to be looking at that Spain squad. I can't lie. He's definitely going to be looking at that Spain squad because he's going to be one of the main reasons as to why that Fiorentina are doing well in the first place. 2.34 goals prevented this season. Listen, man, he's been, but like I said, it's not all him. Of course, the defenders in front of him, they've done really, really well. I like the way Fiorentina play from the highlights that I've seen of them. But it's the saves that this guy is making. 0.8 so far. Again, we're early in the season. Of course we are. Things could easily change in the next 5 games. Technically, all these statistics could all easily change. They can concede 5 goals, you know, in each and every one of those games. I know that. But at this moment in time, when we're looking at it on the face of it, listen, man, David De Gea has been easily one of the best keepers in Europe right now. Easily. Like I'm not even hearing too many other people. I'm not even hearing. Unfortunately, Alisson been injured, so he's been better than Alisson. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And if I'm being honest, I feel like he's even been better than Keller. I'll be so honest. I feel like he's even been better than that. And to be honest, that shouldn't even be a wild thing because he's kind of a better goalkeeper in my opinion. But yeah, listen, man, from where he came from, and bearing in mind, these statistics are from 2 years ago. It's not even, this ain't even a last season thing because he wasn't even playing football last season. Don't know what he was doing in the wilderness, but came back and he seems like he's just not missed a beat at all, man. So big up to David De Gea, man, every single time. Next up, we got Danny Welbeck. This one was a bit like, I was trying to think of like a few other like Prem players, and there are a few I could have thrown in there in terms of the Premier League players. So obviously you got players like Callum Hudson-Odoi, you know, he's one of them. Chris Wood was another one, but Chris Wood, I said, nah. As well as I think, obviously, he's doing amazing this season. He's kind of always been someone who's always bagged goals throughout his career. If you actually go and look at Chris Wood, I'm not saying he scored bare goals. He's not someone who's going to always hit 25s. And no, I think he's only done like that a couple of times. But he's been all right. And last season, I felt like for Nottingham Forest, he was kind of good anyway for them. You know, for them. Obviously, this season they're sitting in 3rd or wherever it is now in the Premier League. So of course it looks better. But I feel like he's always been kind of doing his thing. But he could have been added, is what I'm trying to say. But Danny Welbeck, though, this, I think, to my knowledge, his best tally in the Premier League, I want to say, I think it was 9. I think it was 9. Could be potentially wrong. And again, in the comment section, please do let me know. I think it was about potentially 9. He's already on, you know, and last season in the Premier League, he only scored 5 goals. You know, he wasn't even bad, and that's the thing. Performance-wise, he wasn't even bad, so to speak. Brighton were just, yeah, all over the gaff. Obviously with the Zerbi, you know, a few games, it just wasn't really clicking for them. This season, he's already scored more Premier League goals than he did last season. Already. He's already on 6. Last season, he got 5. In 29 matches, he got 5. This season, he's already on 6. 2 assists this season in 12 games. Listen, man, Danny Welbeck, this is the guy who's been traveling around the Premier League, boy. Playing for a good few clubs. Manchester United, Arsenal, Watford. Was Watford in the Championship? No, they were in the Premier League, I believe. I think they were in the Premier. And then obviously now he's landed obviously here at Brighton. And I think I heard the Brighton manager even talking about Danny Welbeck about, you know, his leadership qualities that he's got within the squad. Obviously, he's one of the elder players, you know, like the Lallanas, like the James Milners and stuff like that. Obviously not as old as them, but I think anyway, or not as old as Lallana to my knowledge. But, you know, we all remember young Danny Welbeck playing left wing, right wing, through the middle for Manchester United and England when he was making the England squads back then. But then obviously just kind of tailored off, went to Arsenal and all of that. Again, wasn't really the guy like that. But bro, I don't know if he improved his finishing, but some of the goals that I'm seeing him score this season, I'm like, bro, where has that even been? Like, man's chipping the keeper, putting the ball in, you know, putting the ball in corners, like the way he's doing. I'm like, like Danny Welbeck, like, are you sure? Like, this is the same Danny Welbeck that I remember seeing at Manchester United. Like, and I thought, brother, you man need to let this guy go. Well, not now, boy. Brighton are happy that he's landed over there at their club. I can't even lie to you, man. But nah, like I say, man, so far, again, this is all so far, by the way, people. Anything can change, and it'll be interesting to see what this looks like come the end of the season. But I think he breaks that 10-goal barrier kind of easily, to be honest with you. He's probably even looking even further than that. I mean, he's 9 goals away from 15 in the Premier League. I'm sure in his eyes, he might think, if I continue playing the same way I've been playing so far this season, I can get 9 more goals at least, which then puts him on 15. And for someone like Danny Welbeck and Brighton this season, That's dope. That's definitely dope, man. So yeah, he's one of my players. He's one of my players. Last but not least, bloody hell, the 110 million pound signing, was it, for Chelsea? Listen, look, unless you're one of the best players in the world, which he is not, but unless you're one of the best players in the world, like Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't know, Bale at the time, Neymar, Mbappe's, unless you're one of those guys, if you get sold for that amount of money, I'm not expecting you in your first season to show me why you cost that amount of money. Sounds weird, right? Obviously, you want to see something, of course. And I felt last season, Caicedo, in my opinion, was not that good. Had some good games here, some good games there. Like, it was very, very, in my opinion, again, Chelsea fans will tell you different, but it was very scarce with him. Now, again, you can add whatever context, manager, system, forget all of that. We're just talking about the player right here. Ultimately, yes, and I know those things, of course, will contribute to all of that. But ultimately, I didn't feel like, when you looked at it and you thought, me personally, I was always like, listen, I'll take Caicedo today. And I kept saying it last year. I was like, nah, he's a good player. Like, Caicedo is a top player, man. Trust me. If things just click properly, Chelsea, again, they were these joke clubs like Chelsea, Manchester United, like, they're going there is almost like suicide at times. So when he was there last season, I could see a few things, but it's difficult. You're like, oh, bro, like, you lot playing poorly, or you lot are rubbish right about it, you're losing games, and you're getting in trouble. I mean, errors leading to shots, errors leading to goals. Like, listen, man, this guy was not doing well, in my personal opinion, in that Chelsea midfield. Again, like I said, Chelsea fans can provide whatever context they want to provide. Ultimately, he was not good. Don't care how you want to spin it, how you dress it up. Sometimes the players are just not good. That's just it. You're just not good. But this season, though, new manager comes in. Maybe he's playing him a bit differently. I'm not really here to say, but I just think that this season is the season that I wanted to see last year. He still doesn't look like he's worth 110 million, whatever it is. Let's not go overboard. Not many players do, to be fair, and that's not his fault. Of course not. And it's got nothing to really to do with him. That's a Chelsea problem. But this season, if he had started like this last season, you would have at least said, Chelsea, it's never a bargain. It's 100 million at the end of the day. Like, nothing's ever going to be seen as a bargain at 100 mil, right? But at least you would have said, say no more. Bit like how Declan Rice cost, how much he cost. And Arsenal fans were like, yeah, say no more. You're not saying it's a bargain. It's not a bargain. Of course it's not. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because these players are not worth that kind of price. But you're at least going to sit there and say, okay, say nothing. Say nothing. And that's the kind of season he's having right now. Lavia as well, by the way, has been really, really good. But of course, he's been injured and, in and out of the team. But Caicedo, for me this season, this is the Caicedo I know. This is the Caicedo I wanted to sign. I still want to sign today, even though I know it will never happen. But this is the Caicedo, he just performance. He's just proper midfielder. Good on the ball, good off the ball, good positioning, very good awareness. IQ is there. Everything is there. Now, again, like I said, could be the manager. Could be Maresca. Maresca's a decent manager. Looks like he's a very good tactician. That could just be it, in layman's terms, right? But don't know what it is, man. For me, Caicedo been really, really good for Chelsea this season. For me, he's been one of the best midfielders in the Premier League this season. So yeah, man, like I say, man, big up to him and big up to, of course, to the rest of the crew. But yeah, that's my 5 people. So obviously we've got Rafinha in there. We have got obviously Caicedo as well. We've got Ryan Gravenberch, we've got Danny Welbeck, and we have got David De Gea. Let me know in the comment section. Do you agree with my 5? Is there 5 other players that you guys think, I've missed out and I should have had them, in there? Let me know, of course, your thoughts in the comment section. Guys, please make sure you do smash the like, share, and subscribe on your way out. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side.